welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher. So let's jump right into it. We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. What is good, YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and thank you for joining me for another video here on the channel. Today, of course, is our Hot 10 breakdown of the week, where I take the 10 hottest comics according to the Key Collector app, and I break them down for you guys, letting you guys out there know which ones I'd be buying and which I'll be staying the hell away from. Before we get started in the video, like always, I want to remind you, if you're not a current subscriber of the channel, do me a favor, go ahead, click that sub button. Smash that like button. Of course, you guys know once we get to 5,000 subs, I'm giving away an Iron Man 1. If you haven't checked out these awesome new t-shirts featuring your favorite characters, do yourself a favor, check it out in the links below and in the description of each video, because these will be ending on June 1st, and then maybe we're going to get wave 2 of the t-shirts. With that said, let's get into this week's breakdown. At number 10 this week is a copy of Batman number 181 and the first appearance of Poison Ivy, and a CGC 9.0 just sold last week for $6,600, up 2% over that average. We also had a CGC 6.5 sale for $1,550, up 6% over that average. You guys know whenever I talk about this book, I talk about the pinup. Make sure you're buying a complete copy of this book. There's no reason to go out there and buy an incomplete copy. I know it's a lot of money right now to spend on this book, but do me a favor, you will not regret it. It's one of the better Silver Age Batman keys available. At number 9 this week is a copy of The Walking Dead number 1, the premiere issue of the ongoing series about survivors of a zombie outbreak, and a CGC 9.8 just sold the prior week for $3,250, up 15% over the average. Now, a lot of Walking Dead fans out there probably own this book already, but I'm going to tell you, I want to stick to a 9.8 on this book. I know it's kind of fallen out of favor right now with the show going away and the comic actually going away. So to me, I think you want to own this book, it's got to be in a 9.8. I think that's the grade that it's worth it to hold on to for the long term. At the 8th spot this week is a massive key, Incredible Hulk number 181, and the first full appearance of Wolverine, and a CGC 9.0 just sold last week for a whopping $12,137, up 31% over the average. We also had a CGC 8.5 sale for $8,500, up 8% over the average. You guys know there are a million copies of this book out there. However, I do still think you should own it. It's one of the better Bronze Age keys I want in my collection. I just always say be careful right now buying this book. You're going to have to hold on to this one for the really long term in order to get yourself the bump that you're looking for. But either way, if you're a Wolverine fan, this one is a must own. At the 7th spot this week is a copy of Star Wars Heir to the Empire number 1 and the first appearance of Admiral Thrawn, and a CGC 9.6 just sold last week for $375, up 5% over the average. We also had a CGC 9.4 sale for $275, up 27% over the average. Star Wars seems to be dominating these lists over the past couple of months. Again, if you're a huge Star Wars fan, you probably want to own this book. For me, you know I'm not, except for the original trilogy keys. For that said, I'm staying away. At number 6 on this list is a copy of the Swamp Thing number 1 and the first appearance and origin of the second Swamp Thing, Alec Holland, and a CGC 9.0 just sold last week for $517, up 46% over the average. We also had a CGC 8.0 sale for $438, up a crazy 45% over the average. Again, another book that's been on this list for the better part of 2 months. You know my saying, and you know how it goes. I want to own the money book, and I believe that book is The House of Secrets 92. I know it's a different Swamp Thing, but that's the book I'm always looking to buy when we're talking about Swamp Thing. Not this one. It's a no-go for me. Now that we're halfway through this list, I want to try something a little bit different and test you guys out there in the community. We're halfway through it, so do me a favor, comment down below this word right now, just so I can see who's actually watching these videos or not. And the word this week is Rhino. Comment down below. At the 5th spot on this list is a copy of Daredevil number 183 and the first battle between Daredevil and the Punisher, and a CGC 9.6 just sold last week for only $129, up 29% over the average. We also had a CGC 9.0 sale for $70, up 30% over the average. You guys know this book has also been on the list for the better part of a month. I want to own this book. I think it's a cool little key. I don't want to shell out a ton of money to own it, and right now at around $100 for a 9.6, I think that's a pretty good deal. I'm giving it a thumbs up. Why not own this one? At number 4 on this list is another big boy book. It is a copy of Batman Adventures number 12 and the first appearance of Harley Quinn in a standard comic. And we all know Lady Gaga is set to take on the role as Harley Quinn in the new Joker 2 movie coming up next year. And either way, a CGC 9.8 just sold the prior week for $3,200, up 16% over that average. It seems every time this book is on this list, we're getting a new high at a 9.8. And that's why I'm telling you guys, I only want to own this book in a 9.8. I've said it for the better part of a couple of years now. A lot of people out there own this book and they're waiting for a huge increase in value in other grades. I say forget that. Buy the 9.8. That's where the money is. That's a grade I want to own. At number 3 on this list is another Star Wars key. Star Wars Clone Wars number 1 and the first appearance of Ahsoka Tano. And a CGC 7.0 just sold last week for $550, up 10% over that average. We also had a CGC 6.5 sale for $600, up a crazy 50% over that average. Man, these Star Wars keys are hot. If I was a super Star Wars fan and a modern book collector, I'd probably be all over these things. But because I'm not, I'm saying be very careful on these books. They tend to spike right now, and then after all the dust settles, they go right back down. To each his own. You guys know for me, I'm staying away. But for you, ask yourself, do I want to own this book? And at the 2 spot was our number 1 book last week. It is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 41 and the first appearance of the Rhino. I love Amazing Spider-Man keys in this classic John Romita cover. And a CGC 7.5 just sold last week for $966, up 7% over the average. We also had a CGC 5.0 sale for $500, up 7% over that average. You guys know I want to own this book. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, but I'm not going out here right now and buying this book because of all the news we're getting that the Rhino may be the antagonist in the upcoming Kraven movie. I want to own it because it's an awesome cover and a key Amazing Spider-Man book. If you're buying it for any other reason, I'd be staying away. And at the top spot this week is a book that's been on and off the list for the better part of a year. It is a copy of Flash number 123 and the first appearance of the Golden Age Flash in the Silver Age. And a CGC 8.5 just sold last week for a crazy $9,899, up 38% since 2018. Who says DC books haven't gone up over the years? And a CGC 3.0 sale for $745, up 14% since 2022. Man, everything is Flash is hot right now. Again, if you don't own this book and you want to own it, I think now's a decent time to buy it. But be prepared. We may get a crash after that Flash movie comes out. If you're a long-term holder, yes, I'm definitely a buyer. If not, I might want to hold off right here. It's up to you. You decide. That is it for this week's list, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Again, some of the same books are on the list last week. A few new ones. But other than that, all the same stuff. It is now time for my best buy of the week, and I'm going to go with the same one we had last week. Batman number 181 and the first appearance of Poison Ivy. A lot of Batman Silver Age keys are coming up right now. Some of them are not, but this is one of the better ones out there. This and Batman 121. I believe it said the same thing last week, and I'm sticking to it this week. This is my best buy. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.